this is Vanquish Soul 4.0. You've been waiting for it. It's been a while. It's been over a week since I posted the Vanquish Soul 3.0 profile, which you can just click on the link above, where that's a go second version, which is pretty strong. It annihilates your opponent's board and you attack the game. But this version is all around synchro monsters. Yes, synchro monsters. Vanquish Soul with Revolution Synchron. Now this deck list is very good. I actually really like it. There's some really cool combos you can do with it, where you can make Naturi Beast or Baron sat behind there and it can be one. It's very explosive. It's very controlling. It's more controlling than this standard Vanquish Soul version. I think you're going to like this. If you think this deck list is crap, just comment below and tell me. And if you think I should just make something different in terms like moving on to the Chimera deck, let me know. I'm curious of what type of deck list you want me to keep changing next. This is going to be Vanquish Soul 4.0. I hope you like it. You might want to change some of the synchro monsters moving forward, because those will change upon the format as it changes. This deck list is really good actually. I'm actually surprised at how well it tested. Very different to how you would originally play Vanquish Soul, but I'll explain that as the video plays out. Guys, if you like this type of content, click that subscribe button. Okay, here we go. So it's a 40 card deck list. There are a lot of free obs in this deck. It's got some great spells in there as well to allow for consistency, for easy access to Razen, and you can set up a really strong board turn one, where usually this deck doesn't really do that because it usually ends on quite a weak board compared to the other decks in the format. However, now this version allows you to set up a strong board going first, and also going second, it allows you to pick apart and break your opponent's board much easier with the extra cards that you're playing, such as Black Rose Dragon. Cool. So here we go. So we have triple Razen, best card in the deck. Literally sets up everything. You can win games by itself if you summon it in the right column. Then the same kind of goes with Mad Love. Now, Mad Love's bounce effect is really good if you time it correctly in the turn. If you time it perfectly, it should win you the game. Same with Razen. So these two cards are really good, especially what Mad Love can search a non-targeting Book of Moon as well. That's really helpful. And also, you can get set up recursion if you get continue from Mad Love. And we're playing both the spells in this version. Then we're playing Free Pantera. My other list didn't really play this, but now we're playing free. Any of these tied with a Revolution Synchron sets up a Power Tool Dragon, which then sets up your future plays. You can set up some nice boards, so you definitely want to play all 9. And the cool thing about this card is you can special summon this card if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, and that will come up many times during the game. But the cool thing about this mainly is we're now able to make Naturi Beast. Revolution Synchron comes at level 1 tuner when it's summoned from the graveyard, so that's level 1 Earth. With this level 4 Earth, you make Naturi Beast, and with the amount of broken spells in this current format, you should be able to win alone with that. And if you have Naturi Beast with there only can be one, it pretty much is game over. Especially with the amount of branded Chimera around right now. The next up for the other Vanquish Soul monsters, so we have 2 Heavy Borgers in this version. I decided against playing free. Now, the reason why you don't really want to play free is because you're synchroing a lot more early on. So you just don't want to be having this card more frequently in your opening hand. And then in this version, we're playing 2 Caesars instead of 1 and 3 Borger. Now, the reason why is we want to be able to make Baron in this deck. And this is level 8. But also, if you have there only can be 1 with this, it's really hard for your opponent to be able to clear this monster, because especially if you have your Earth in your hand, and we're playing more Earths in this version, which means this is better in this deck list now, because it'd be unaffected by your opponent's cards. Whereas in other versions, because you're playing fewer Earths, this value isn't as good as what it can be, because you won't be able to utilize the first effect as often. But now that you're playing more Earths in this, it's really nice, especially tied with there only can be 1, which is being played free of in this deck list. So these are all the Vanquish Soul monsters. I wouldn't change a single one. Definitely play this ratio. There is arguments to be playing if you want to. You could play Pluto. I like this. You simply can just add it into the deck list and play 41 cards if you want to. There's no real right answer here. I do find that you'll probably miss not having a fire as often as the other variations of the deck. So you probably want to add this in. The reason why I didn't add it in is I don't want to go to 41. But if I'm going to add a 41st card, it would be this card. Okay, and then now, for one of the main monsters of the deck, Free Revolution Synchron. This card is really good. The fact that you can synchro with this card in your hand is nuts. It's just nuts. And it doesn't really activate as well. So you can just synchro. You know, it doesn't start a chain. So you just synchro, which is really nice. You can make black rows. When you go second, nuke the board, really strong. And then if you control a level 7 or higher synchro monster, you can then just mill a top card of your deck, special summon this card. You only can use that effect once per duel, which is a shame. Shame it's not once per turn. Which I don't think would have really mattered that much, given how fast the game currently is. But yeah, this card's really nice. You're definitely going to like it. Yeah, it's really nice in this deck. Also, we're playing a single Assault Synchron, and we're playing a singular Jet Synchron. Now, what can you tell me that is very similar to the attributes of the first 3 monsters I showed you in the deck? This is Earth, this is Dark, this is Fire. They're all going to add value to your Vanquish Soul effects. So they are going to come up for sure. I kind of wanted to, well, I had an original version where I had 3 of these, 3 Assault Synchron, 3 Jet Synchron. You think I'm crazy, but there's just no space. I mean, you could probably put in 60 cards in this deck, and then you could probably put in the Rite of Aramesia package, like the Adventurer package. And yes, you wouldn't be get the effect really from Vanquish Souls that are normal summoned, but you'll just have to special summon them from the rock, which will then trigger then. These are the Synchro monsters, and then last up for the monsters, we have 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. You definitely have to play 3 of these cards. It's one of the best monsters in the deck, mainly because it's a fire, but also how versatile it is across all the decks in the format. It's really nice to have this card. Now, there is an argument for maining Shifter. You could main Shifter in this deck. However, you don't benefit fully from Revolution Synchron. But I do side the card. So when you go second, you can actually side out the Revolution Synchron package if you want to, but I disagree with doing that. You want to put in the shifters just to stop your opponent who's playing Pearly. They'll literally get shut down. I mean, it's even good against the Branded Chimera deck. So yeah, that card is going to be, it's very strong, but I didn't want to main it unless I knew I was going second where I'd side it. So these are the monsters. Next up, we have the spells. You're going to like the spells. Makes the deck very consistent. So we have 3 Stake Your Soul, 3 copies of Tuning. Now, the reason why I'm playing 3 tunings is the same reason why I'm wanting to play 1 Jet, 1 Assault, and 3 Revolution Synchron. Because I want to be able to search the attribute that I want, and this card does that. Not once per turn as well, which is really nice. And also, you might, in some of the games, be quite fortunate and mill the Revolution Synchron, which would be quite nice to do so. Also, you can mill Vanquish Soul monsters, which you then can just add back from Rock of the Vanquisher. So yeah, I like it. Then we're playing 3 Durandal. You have to play 3 because of the Power Tool Dragon combo. But also, this card is so good because you can just equip it to any monster on the field and then destroy it and search Razen from the deck. It's really nice. Then another Razen Searcher, which is reinforcements to the army. We are then playing the 1 Vanquish Soul Dust Devil and 1 Vanquish Soul Continue. You have to play both of these. They're going to come up quite often. There is an argument where you could play more Continue and maybe another Dust Devil. No space, especially with how fast the format currently is. Just stick to 1 of each. And obviously, I say this in every profile. If you're not playing this card in your deck, even in a singular copy, change that right now because you're absolutely missing out on a ton of missed winning opportunities that you could win a lot more if you just have this 1 copy card in your deck list, and that's triple Tactics Talent. Okay, so these are the spells. As you can see, very consistent. Mainly a lot of free ofs. There was an argument to play Small World in the deck list as well instead of tuning if you want to. That's something you could definitely do. Then for the traps, we have triple copies of There Only Can Be One. I really like it in this deck, especially where you could just like nuke the board and then just set this and have a very like, well, have a weak board in a way and just have There Only Can Be One, and your opponent shouldn't be able to win from there. So it's really strong from that. And then you have triple Infinite Impermanence. I went with Impermanence in this just because I wanted more cards to stop my opponent with. I do like Impermanence in this format right now. The other thing you could do is you could take the impermanences out. You could put in the shifters if you wanted to. Put in another hand trap if you felt that was better. But I am playing quite a few hand traps in the side deck, which we'll get to shortly. So main deck is 40 cards. Next up, the extra deck. So the Link monsters, playing 2 Rock with the Vanquisher, because again the format's so fast, you're very rarely making 3 ever. And if players are saying they're making 3, then they've obviously missed multiple opportunities to win. So I like 2. I would stick to 2. The format's slower, play 3 for sure. But right now you only need 2. Then we have Phoenix, and then we have Cerberus. I like these cards a lot in this deck rather than playing Security Dragon, just because I can discard and draw a card because they'll be co-linked to Rock of the Vanquisher. So I like them. I definitely would play both of them just because of drawing cards is really important in this deck list. And also it's going to be really nice to discard a Jet Synchron or a Revolution Synchron. Next up, we have the Synchros. Okay, now this is where the deck gets really fun. Again, you can change these Synchros up. We have Nature Beast, cards broken, very easy to make in this deck. Black Rose Dragon, you're going to find yourself making this a lot. There is arguments where you could play a second copy, but again, space. I actually don't have these cards. They're on order, but I don't have these cards right now. So we have Crystal Wing Synchron. It's really nice because you can make Power Tool, search the Durandal, equip it, search Razen. Then you can use Rev Synchron, bring it back, Synchro Rev Synchron, and Power Tool into Crystal Wing, and then you've now got a nice big monster on the field. Then we've got obviously Power Tool Dragon. Then we have the new TCG exclusive, the level 7. When it's synchro summoned, you can target a card in the field and destroy it. It's really nice. It will come up, especially when you go second. Then next we have Virtual World Shen Shen. It's a level 9. It will come up because you're playing Assault Synchron, which is level 2, and you're playing Jet Synchron. Great thing about this card is any card sent from the field is banished instead. So having this with there only can be 1 would be really nice. And the cool thing is you can revive it back from the graveyard because all your monsters have different types and there's a lot of different attributes. So you're going to find yourself being able to keep summoning this back again and again and again. Definitely recommend playing it. Whereas a Rise Heart, you have to sacrifice a lot of your engine to make it. And if your opponent has an answer to it, it's not going to be very good. But this, cool, let your opponent clear it. Great, bring it back. Let your opponent clear it again, bring it back. It's really nice. And I'm pretty sure Rise Heart's getting banned very soon. So, and then we have Vermilion Dragon Mech. Now this is level 9. It's really nice. You can banish a tuner, destroy a card in the field. If this card gets destroyed, you can add one of your banished tuners back to your hand. So you get to add back your Ash Blossom, which will be good. You can add back any of your Synchro monsters, which will be good as well, because you can add then the correct attribute that you're going to need during the game. So that'll help you win from there. And then obviously we have Baron de Fleur. How to play Baron. It's going to be really nice to make. You're going to win many games with this card. Definitely recommend playing it. If you don't own one, I would recommend getting one, especially if you're playing this version of the deck. And then last up, we have 3 XYZ monsters. Now I didn't want to commit to the Zeus package in terms with the Zodiac monsters. They took up too much of the extra deck spots. And also we have Black Rose Dragon. So instead of making Zeus and committing to the Zoo package, I then played Exton Knight. You just make this if you want to blow up the board, as well as Black Rose. If you don't have a Resolution Synchron, you can just make this with 2 level 4s. So for example, special summon the Earth level 4 Vanquish Soul monster, then normal summon either Razen, or you can normal summon Mad Love, and then you can play from there. Then Baguska, if you ever get into a tricky situation, you need to stall the game and to be able to then bypass for an extra turn, so then you can recoup and play from there. And then obviously the singular copy of Zeus, just because if you go Exciton Knight and nuke the board, attack for 0 because your opponent can't take any damage now because you resolve this effect, attack, then you can make a Tomb Serum Zeus, which is nice. And then obviously it works well with Baguska, and obviously it'll work well with the Triple Tactics talents if you take your opponent's XYZ monster. So this is the extra deck. Okay, now the side. So the side's really nice. All 3 ofs. You can tweak the list of this, well, mainly the side deck if you don't have some of the cards. I was umming playing XYZ Encore in here, but I decided to go with Kurikara instead. Mainly because it's a fire. It's going to be very good against Kashtira. It's going to be very good against Pearly as well. And I just wanted to have more coverage against all the decks in the format. So we're playing free draw and Lockbird. I like this when we go second, just because we can stun our opponent for their turn, and the next turn we can just establish a board and win from there, because we're playing more cards that will be able to negate your opponent's cards. So if we stop them from searching, then stun them for that turn, and then we can just completely gain control of the board in our first turn, and then just negate anything that they want to do from there on in terms of searching effects. Then we're playing triple dimension shifter. Mainly for going second again, it's a dark, adds value to the deck, very good. Card's broken, card should probably get banned. Then free Kurikaras. I love this card, it's disgusting. Literally lets you OTK, it's really nice. It's fire again. So yeah, I mean, if you go stake your soul, reveal this, your opponent's going to hate you because you're revealing this, and they just don't want to be negating a stake your soul now a Baron. So yeah, it's nice. So they're the monsters. Then we have triple cosmic cyclone. I just really like this card right now. Really nice. It's very good. I mean, even really good against Unchain. You just want this card. Definitely side 3 for sure. The next up, the card that needs to get banned because it's so unfair, is Dimensional Barrier. Card is crazy. Your opponent will probably never side this card in against you regardless, even if you are playing the Synchro package. They're only going to really side this in against Pearly, or against Chimera, or against Manadinium. So I wouldn't worry about this card being used against you, but this is going to be your best friend when you play against every single deck when you go first post sideboard. So this is 15 cards. This is the main deck, the extra deck, and the side deck. This is Vanquish Soul 4.0. Hope you like the profile. Let me know what you think below. And maybe we could do like a Vanquish Soul Ultimate list, which is like the final form of the deck. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.